been a week. Alright, the kitchen. Ah, there's a desk. But it's covered. Man, how many pots and pans do we need around here? Whatever. I can just move them out of the way.
Hey, Brother William.
Yeah, hey.
Doing okay in there?
Yeah, we're good.
Alright, just checking.
Alright, thanks. Oh, I'm gonna be cleaning for so long. Okay, I gotta get this done. Oh, man. Alright. Well, I'm already in the midst of it. Let's just go ahead and get this done. Just write it, everything. Okay. Dear mother and father. No, just kidding. Alright. Dear mother and father. Today, I've decided to write from one of the primary kitchens. I won't tell you how that went. But, big news. Let me start out simply, though. It's been as hot as a pig roast around here. Except I always feel as if I'm the one on the spit. And of course, heat is doubled with the humidity and these rough robes we are always to wear. I'm learning many lessons, my dear parents. Oh, excuse me. But the cost sometimes seems too high to bear. But that is a recent turn of events. I'm safe, it's just uncomfortable. I've wonderful relationships with much of the Abbey, except for a few choice individuals. But what could I expect? Our harvest begins to grow at a rapid pace, so much so that I'm expecting to see it cut down any day now. But appearances are deceiving, of course, so I expect that I'll have to wait as long as any other growing season for us to reap the harvest. And that likely means, weeks, months away? Let me divert into another part of the Abbey of interest to me. Though, I haven't mentioned much about it yet. There is a group of individuals in the Abbey in charge of writing and scribing. The difference? Well, some of that scribing is the result of our scholarly yet adventurous brother Medden, a red-haired halfling I have the blessing of sharing a dorm room with. While many of us sleep in close quarters in the same room, almost as if we are housed in strict barracks, brother Medden is kept next to me whenever he is home. I say home. He is often out and about, scouring the greater landscape, indeed the wider world, in search of old or new pieces of literature, scholarship, learning, history, art, or really anything else which we can piece together to save for future generations. The Abbey is not only a place of reflection, growth, and spiritual change. It is also focused on preserving what ought to be preserved by the strength of our hard work and practical skill. It was stated by the order which began the Abbey, that the ability for future generations to understand their place in the world starts with history and ends with art. On these wise words, the Abbey founds its secondary mission: to preserve and propagate both types of culture. Such heady subjects are close to being beyond my understanding. But the formal education you allowed me to receive as a child, mother and father, prepared me for it. And now I am most grateful then. Anyway, so back to Brother Medden. He is, first of all, short. That strikes you almost as skillfully in the head as his stark red hair. Imagine a red pepper. Mash it up into a fine paste and completely erase any color other than that red hue, and that is what his hair is colored. It is unsettling each time I see it when he greets me for the first time after returning home from his trips. In fact, I have only seen him a few times since I have been at the Abbey. He has made his mark on me that much. He seems like the most un-monk-like as ever I have met here. I never see him attend but 1 or 2 meetings, and neither does he seem to take the time to pray as often as others do. Yet, he talks with such ferocious speed, and speaks with such earnest happiness about his travels and the fruits of his labor, that one feels he cannot help but listen intently, even when one is not supposed to be talking. He is a wonderful character, and I never cease to love to hear him speak. Mother and father, he could tame herds of wild horses with just his voice, if he ever wanted to give that a try. But let's move on from Brother Medden. I assist with the chief copyists and scribes in their work on occasion, and recently they tell me they are making progress with an original account of a historical figure probably over 2,000 years old. At the pace that I have seen Brother Silvis speak, he who is the chief copyist, I wonder that they make any progress at all in their pursuit of finishing the new manuscripts. The hope is that, as always, they can publish the results to the financially blessed members of the greater communities around our greater geographic region. Or, perhaps, if technology continues to take steps forward, as I hear it does at least, in other parts of the world, we may be able to harness it to produce the work for cheaper than I thought possible, or ever would have dreamed of back home. I know Brother Silvis has a flair for the dramatic, so I expect the resulting work to be less historically focused and more to read like a tale from legends past, like Mr. Ramsay would tell us around the fire on cold winter nights back home. I have dodged the issue long enough. Let me now tell you about the person who came to our abbey this week, like I mentioned last week. I still know relatively little of him, as I only met him just yesterday, and only in passing. He is a tall, rail-thin human of a great height, 3 or 4 heads taller than me. When he talks, it is only in lower, heavier strains. He strikes me as aged and yet young, as a well-kept, middle-aged individual of stressful occupation might appear to untrained eyes. He has been sequestered away with Father Clam and the elders on and off through the last day and a half. And so, I have seen relatively little of any of them. The air about the Abbey has seemed colder, if only in feeling. Even now, sweat drips off my nose and onto the paper. That's messed up. Oh well. I'll rewrite it real quick. Abbey has seemed colder, if only in feeling. I do not know what he wants, nor who he is, but the way of things seems to be that he, apparently, threatens the way things are done around here. I hear complaints of changes brewing, positions shifting, and men falling in rank that do not deserve such treatment in my eyes. Of course, all I hear is hearsay until I have had more time to learn about it and see what is actually the case. But that is all for now. I will write soon. Writing is good practice for understanding the world around us, so they say, and I find I take to it rather easily. Mother, enclosed is another flower, this one of a blue hue. Blue hue. Blue hue. H-U-E. Anyway. I was stunned when I found it in the forest nearby on my recent walk. Never have I seen its equal. Father, I hope all is well with your work. I hope Mr. Kelvin does not mistreat you anymore, even though you never did anything to deserve what he accused you of. Looking forward to cooler temperatures of the fall, though I know it is far off. Your darling son, William Thanegood.